Good afternoon, everyone. Joe here, also known as Simple Man. And it's a Sunday afternoon. And I'm not sure if my morning ride got recorded, so I'll talk about the same thing, see how things go. And then we'll decide which to post if they both worked. So, first things first, I got up this morning, walked 4 miles. I really want to be in a running condition, but I have to recognize where I'm at. I'm at the heaviest weight I've ever been, and I'm just in no shape to run right now. So, accept that and walk, and I got to work on diet and exercise, and I got to get my weight down, and that should help me with the running, and then running will help me get the weight down even further. But I got to accept where I'm at instead of being so on myself about where I'm at and disappointed in myself all the time. That's just not a good place to be. So, something I'm working on. So, first and foremost, I want to get my weight down. Secondly, I want to get running and be able to run, like I used to. And ultimately, I'd like to get to, endurance running shape again. But let's start with where we're at. Walk as need be, then learn to run walk. And then learn to run. So, it's just where we're at. Another thing I'm wanting to work on is my motorcycle skills, particularly my low-speed skills, which supposedly translates to skills for riding at speed. I wouldn't know because I really have no low-speed skills whatsoever. Checking out a YouTube channel, Be the Boss of Your Own Motorcycle, or Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle. He's got a website, Pay It Forward. I'm not sure if he's changed the name from one to the other. Pay It Forward to Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle, where both are still, still used. But he's a former NYPD Highway Patrol Lieutenant, and knows how to ride pretty well, very well. He knows what he's doing. So, and the likes of Jerry Palladino. I've said in the past I'd like to take classes from Jerry Palladino, and I still would. Really, you should practice before you go take a class from somebody like Jerry Palladino and get some practice in, and then learn some from him, and then go practice some more. But I'm at the place where I've always been afraid to practice because I'm afraid I'm going to drop the bike. I can, I've got crash bars and stuff like that, but even those take damage. I'm just afraid of dropping the bike if I go, do some of the slow speed exercises. I can go at slow speeds, but I can't do the things that they do. I make a real wide U-turn, those types of things. So, I want to get better at riding. And so one of the things, the first thing, this isn't the first thing that they do preloading your throttle. Pay attention to what I'm doing here. And as you stop, keep your throttle loaded and use only your rear brake as you come to a complete stop. So, why do I think this light's going to change up? It's very likely that it will, that's why. I'm working on that. So low speeds, slow speeds, some stops, and then start and go to at speed, above 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, and then stop again, practicing that. Again, using the same skills. With the, you can use your front brake initially at the higher speeds, but then when you come to the stop, he wants you to again put the throttle up, and we go for another bump here. Have your throttle up, and then stop with your rear brake only. So I'm trying to work with that a little bit, even when I'm on the road. So those are the first two things that you do, and that's not even exercise number one. Exercise number one, then, the third thing that you do, which makes things a little confusing. But exercise number one is slow speed riding, or slow race, if you will, if you want to call it that. Not a slow race, but just slow. So basically preloading your throttle and keeping it there, keeping your RPMs up, staying moving in and out of the friction zone just enough to keep yourself moving forward and not tipping over. So gaining confidence at low speeds and learning how, mastering the friction zone. Okay, there, I just finished with the throttle up just a little bit. I'm not sure if you would call that good or not. But, anyway, slow speed riding is the first exercise. And then the second exercise is what he calls trust and believe. And what that involves is getting the RPMs up at a stop. So we're sitting here, right foot covering the brake, left foot on the ground, get the RPMs up, get the friction zone just before it wants to move, and then pick up your foot and when it feels like you're going to fall, let out the clutch. Don't let it fall. At the first sign of that, first feeling like you're going to fall, you let out the clutch. Because if you've got enough power to the rear wheel, the bike will not fall down. We know this to be true intellectually, but our body and our muscle memory does not like that. And we have to learn to trust that that's true and believe it is true. Okay, double dap my foot there. That'll be 10 push-ups. I don't even know if you would have noticed that because it was so quick. It was just like almost barely picked up my foot. But I know I did it. We'll watch this truck on the side of the road here. those are the first two exercises of his program. And actually the first four, because he had designed his program without the starts and stops. And then he added those in. And then he moves on to the slow cone weave. Right? So I'm not going to get up to the slow cone weave for a little while. I'm just going to work on those first four exercises. And this is the difference between, at least from what I've seen online, his program and Jerry Palladino's program. And Jerry Palladino probably teaches the same things. But I haven't seen it. If that makes any sense. And I think it's, identifying where you're at and what you need for the next steps. And I think that these are the things that I need for the next steps. So that's what I'm going to work on. Work on doing, even when I'm on the road, trying to bring myself to a stop. Using the rear brake only as the final stop. At road speeds, you go ahead and use the front brake to slow yourself down with the rear brake for the final stop. I just got it right on the middle of my visor. It's like looking at a spot. So we'll do this here. I begin to slow down. Way back here. I go ahead and I use the front brake. Now I'm into first gear and I dabbed my foot. So it's something I need to work on. When I do it without worrying about the throttle, I'm pretty consistent about coming to a stop with the front brake only. But he wants the throttle preloaded. The RPM's up when you come to that stop. And I'm finding that adding that one little thing to do throws off my timing a little bit. I should be good for this one. And I was. Because I was thinking about it long enough in advance. What you want to do is make it become second nature. And that'll take time. After that, we'll add the slow cone weave. And then comes left turns and right turns. And then U-turns. It's about learning how to lean the motorcycle, have confidence as you lean the motorcycle that if you feel that uh-oh moment, you can just let out on the clutch and trust and believe that it's going to pick you up. Right? And it's about building confidence. So I'm going to work on that. I've got the throttle up and I'm braking, and I'm finding I don't quite brake all the way to a full complete stop before I put my foot down every time. Sometimes I do. If I leave the throttle out of it, I'm pretty consistent about coming to a full stop before I put my foot down. Just my left foot. Even with, just using the right foot for the brake. I'm pretty consistent about that. But now I need to add having the RPMs up consistently. So we'll try this again. That wasn't too bad. Put my foot down a little harder than necessary. Again, that's a lack of confidence, or I don't know, maybe. Now I do like to put my right foot down on the ground after I stop, and I don't know that he would approve of that either. When I get a road glide, and that's what I'd like to do, but first I need to have the skills, then of course I need the money, and that's a whole other issue, and that may never happen, but I can trade. Just feels more comfortable to put my right foot down. It's a matter of comfort. At least on this bike, I have the confidence that I can hold it up with one foot. I'm not going to do this very long. We'll just take a couple minutes. Do a couple exercises. And I think that'll be the recipe for a little while. Just take a couple minutes, do a couple exercises, then go home. What we're going to do here is we're going to do slow ride. So do the slow ride without the brake. Going a little fast. Okay. That a couple more times, then we'll go to the back parking lot and we'll do trust and believe. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the back parking lot. Stay off that front brake. What is the gear doing? Going too slow for you? Too damn bad. Forgot to load up the throttle there. See how wide that turn is? Need to work on that. That's to the right anyway. And I just slammed my foot down. That should be 10 push-ups. All right, so I did put my foot down. Put my foot down. It's a hard exercise. That time was not bad. If I feel like I'm running to the left a little bit, I'm a little more comfortable than if it wants to lean to the right. Okay, that time it worked. Okay, I had a couple times where I didn't, 3 times where I didn't put my foot down. So I'm happy with that. Now, let's work. And I said I wasn't going to do this yet. But U-turn. To the left. And that should be a push 10 push-ups right there. But let's do this. Okay. Gotta work on that. Now I need to learn to turn my head as well. That's hard. For me, anyway. Stay off that front brake. Okay. This is not going to happen over in day 1. Okay. Now this one to the right could be harder. Alright, well that's a couple. Needs work. you like coming along on these rides, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new content. With that, I'm out. Stay safe and keep it simple.